Hello, my beautiful Rich and Chill souls, and welcome to another, as you can see, interview episode of the Rich and Chill podcast. I'm super excited. I have the beautiful Murielle with me today, and we will talk about powerful technique of EFT tapping and so much more. Murielle, welcome to the podcast. So nice to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too. So our listeners already heard, your official intro, so they have a little bit an idea of who you are. But if you would like to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about who you are and what led you to do what you are doing today.
As you can hear it, I'm originally from France.
Beautiful.
I've lived in several countries. And as long as I can remember, going back to high school, I had people coming to me when they were suffering, like,
Mm.
girls when they were suffering with a breakup or stuff like that. And for a long time, I loved being able to help. And I found myself living in the US, raising three kids by myself. And I was still doing that. So I thought I might as well start making money with it.
Mm.
So I coached and guided women for years on relationships, not only love relationships, but all relationships, because some relationships can be challenging. That's where we see who we are. We attract what we are. And of course, we bump into our own limitations. And that's an excellent way to discover who we are and grow into the relationship using it even as a mirror. Until my kids became teenagers, and that went south. I had two teenagers who were way too adventurous for my taste, exploring stuff in parties, taking stuff to a point where I was not even sleeping at night. Every time they were out of the house, I had those horror movies in my mind. And I was waking up in the middle of the night in anxiety with palpitations
Oh my gosh.
and slowly trying to control everything. Even though I knew about manifesting, I've been practicing meditation since at that point, it was 20 years.
Wow.
I still, I spiraled into a depression without
Mm.
realizing because I was trying to control what is not possible to do. We're not the universe, God, however you want to call it. We can't control other people. And I found myself at a point where I was so depressed, not knowing that I was depressed,
Mm.
that I wished I could just disappear. And, and I kept on saying that this is too hard. I can't. I'm alone in this country. I don't have any emotional support. And until my oldest came back from university and she said, Mom, I studied psychology. And on all the signs of depression, you almost check all of them. And I was like,
Oh
okay.
my gosh.
So I started really praying. When I was meditating, I was like, show
Mm.
me what is the next step that I need to take. Show me where do I need to go.
Mm.
And I woke up one night in tears because suddenly I realized that on one side, I didn't love my life at all. And on the other side, I loved my kids. And before, I was never able to admit that because there was so much self-judgment. I was like, if I don't love my life and I have kids who are healthy, so far everything is quote unquote normal, that means I don't love my kids. And that night, I finally broke through the self-judgment and got a got some awareness, which is the first step in healing and in growing.
Absolutely.
Awareness and acceptance of what is.
Mm.
And from there, I was guided step by step by the universe. I sat on my meditation cushion every morning and I increased my meditation time to twice a day because I needed it.
Wow.
I needed to connect to the source. I
Mm.
started tapping, doing EFT tapping in the middle of the night when I was waking up with those
Mm.
horrible thoughts and palpitations to intervene at the nervous system level. Because sometimes when the thought is too vibrating too low into despair, hopelessness, powerlessness, you cannot jump at the level of hope, even not even talking about appreciation and love. Hope, you can, the gap is too wide. So you have to go through the body, through the nervous system to, first of all, become neutral and being able to look at what is without that emotional response of fight, flight, or freeze, of panic, if you want. And from there, doing that over and over and doing a process, really creating a process without realizing, I came back to myself. And when I came back to myself, I had completely changed the way that I was approaching life. It was a new me. And at that point, I said, okay, I want to help other women like me, other moms who are alone in that.
Oh,
And
so beautiful.
yeah, I meditated and I said, okay, I'm going to change my business. And the name Coparenting with the Universe came to me in a meditation. I got chills all over. I said, okay, that's a good sign. I trademarked the name. And from there, I've been helping moms like me who went through that and who went through what came after. For me was a suicidal attempt from one of my teens. But I was in such a different way of approaching life, so much stronger that it didn't ruin my days. It's weird to say, but I was in it when he was in the hospital, the psychiatric hospital. I was not allowed to see him more than once. He stayed there like 10 days. And I was able to function during the day without being ruined by the fact that he was there, and just embrace that when I needed to. And that, to me, if I was able to do that, everybody can do that.
Yeah.
I created a process and now I'm taking women through that.
Oh, that's so beautiful. You said so many great things. I want to go deeper into that. And I think a lot of women can relate. I'm a parent too, I'm a mom too. And I also experience that with my clients. You know, as women, we often have this feeling of not good enough, this lack of self-love. And you also said that. So could you explain that a little bit more deeper? What is self-love to you, you know, as a basic before we dive deeper into the EFT?
So self-love to me is very broad. It has several aspects. First, develop awareness to where are you blocking yourself? Where are you beating yourself up? What kind of thoughts? And start examining your thoughts. Is it the truth, or is it something I've learned in my childhood or in society of what it means to be a woman or a man, a parent, an entrepreneur, any aspect of your life? Is it true, or am I just believing my thoughts and shooting myself in the foot? The other aspect of it is stop the self-criticism. It doesn't help. There is a difference between self-criticism and beating yourself up that is loaded with self-judgment and assessment. I was trained in finance and accounting. You can assess, look at a report. Where are you on your cash flow? Where are you on your profit? That's the attitude that you need to have with yourself. It doesn't mean that everything you're doing is serving you or the people around you, but it doesn't mean that you need to shame yourself and beat yourself up in a way that you would never do to someone else. You would be ashamed to do that to someone else. So maybe look at what you're doing inside, and would you do that to your best friend? If the answer is
Probably
no,
not.
stop. Yeah. And having compassion, understanding why you're like that. Even going up to the child, it's always in childhood most of the time. And the childhood of your parents. How did it come to you being there here today, being who you are and doing what you're doing? And to me, that's, in a few sentences, that's self-love. And yeah, being your best friend in a way.
That's beautiful description, and so true what you said, because you know, in my work, when we often talk about, you know, money and money confidence, and so you have these these deep roots in your money confidence to manifest your magical life. It's like you said, all those beliefs, and of course it's not only money, it's the whole areas of our lives, but it's always the same. We have been trained and we have taken over the beliefs from our parents, from a generational cycle sometimes. And like you said, we are so often so judgmental, and we there is so much shame, and we don't dare to go for great dreams because, oh no, who do you think you are? And be humble and be the good girl and all this stuff like that. So it's so important to change that. And I'm really glad there are so many women doing that, and it's such a beautiful way to change those patterns. And like you said,
I,
you had
in
this
something you
beautiful,
just said,
yeah.
with money and with, as a mother with teens who are acting out and going crazy, there is also the aspect of when you want to manifest. For me, if you want to manifest something, you need to have a vision that is inspiring enough to move you. Otherwise, you won't get up and do the difficult stuff.
Yeah.
And when you start going there, all your beliefs that that's impossible. What I had friends who tell me, why do you drink so big? Start with the small. And I'm like, with the small, I won't do anything. It's not inspiring. So there is also this aspect of loving yourself enough to maybe not share with everybody if you know there will be some pushback.
That's
And
really important. Yeah.
yeah.
Be aware of
And
who you are sharing it with. Yeah.
exactly, because and let go of that idea that it's crazy because we don't know what's possible.
We have no idea.
No.
Absolutely. And I love this, what you said about this co-parenting with the universe. So if you would like to go a little bit deeper on that, I love this term. That's so inspiring.
So for that, so there is a lot of energy aspects to that. When you are emoting, when you have an emotion that is in the lower vibration, I always describe energy and manifesting and attracted to an elevator. Because when you are at the level, at the floor of despair, fear, anything you're going to encounter, attract on that floor is going to resonate with that. More situation that scare you, more situation that you're going to feel powerless. So to cooperate with the universe, what we have to do first is become aware of where are we emotionally, because that reflects our vibration. Without self-judgment, of course. But notice if you feel, and sometimes you don't know the exact thought, and it can be in co-parenting with the universe, co-businessing with the universe, whatever you want to co-create.
Also beautiful.
If you feel some tension or some sensations that are uncomfortable in your body, when you think about something, that means you're thinking something negative, even if you're not aware of it. So start there. What I use tapping, of course, EFT, to neutralize the emotional association with that topic or that action that I need to take or that decision that I need to make as a parent. Then you get at least at the floor of being neutral. And when you're neutral, you can already ask, because sometimes it's too difficult to go positive. Like when my kids were really, I learned that at one point, one of them tried cocaine. I couldn't be positive about that.
Not really.
No. So I had to be neutral. And when you're neutral, you can identify where is your zone of power and where is your zone of powerlessness. Because I was afraid to lose a kid. And I was like, no matter what I will do, if I'm meant in this life to lose a kid, I won't be able to control that. So I might as well learn to relinquish that to the universe, because the universe has always, I almost died from a hepatitis B. And the universe has helped me in so many ways. I can't give the details now, but literally actions that I needed to take to save my life. It has helped me all my life. So I need to trust that it's going to continue. And then if something hard is coming my way, I will be given the tools. So there is no point in allocating energy, thoughts, pressures, inner resources to that now, because that's not in my control. That's my zone of powerlessness. So I learned to relinquish, and that's not done in one day, but I really went down, down, down into the bottom of my fear. And I tapped and I surrendered. And then I focused on my zone of power. What can I do? Who can I be? Who do I need to be to have the most impactful way of being, talking, acting with my teenagers? And that's true with anything. So I had to be, first of all, in a relationship with my kids that was not always around all the bad things that they were doing. There were so many other things that they were doing right. So paying attention to see what can I be grateful for in what was happening. Focusing on positive sides to give me the resilience and the strength to continue. And then asking, show me the next step. And that's where, especially when we talk about the life of our children, it's easier said than done, but I believe I've seen it so many times in my life. Either asking when I'm doing my gratitude affirmations in the morning, thanking in advance for what I want. Like I'm so grateful that my kid is healthy, happy, balanced, and whatever you want them to be, and really feel it. And I remember, I can give you an anecdote of my son was skipping school so many times. He was doing stuff, and I was at a point where in America, they're very tough. And if they decide that you can control your kid, they're going to take the kid and put them under the control of the court. That's what they told me. Okay. And I got super scared. I called an association that was supposed to help parents, and that's what he told me. I said, thank you very much. I don't need them. I didn't give my name or anything. And I said, I'm going to go to the source. And I said, I felt that he needed a role model because his father wasn't one. He's suffering from alcoholism. And I was already divorced. And I went to an association where they match adults with kids to become friends and to have a good role model. So cool. I put him in the database, and he was already 13. And they told me, I don't think we're going to find a match because 13, nobody wants kids who are 13 years old. They want 6, 7, 8 or younger. I said, put him anyway. And 2 years later, we didn't hear anything. I was on that day that I talked to that man, and he told me, if you can't control your kid. I was in an office. I went into a private office. I meditated and I said, show me. What do I need to do? Who do I need to see? What do I need to learn? 2 hours later, I got a phone call from that same association that told me that 2 years earlier, he was too old to get a match. He now had a match. He had a match that was a lawyer who had been where my son was when he was younger before he went back on the right path.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
And he had so many commonality, like things in common with my son. They became friends, and it helped him. And that, because I asked, and I was neutral enough to not be in fear, not be in despair, be at least hopeful and knowing that I would be shown. And being shown in any area of your life, it doesn't necessarily look like the way you think it's going to look, but be open.
Then that's a really good advice, because most of the time it never shows up like we can imagine in our brains, right? So thanks for sharing this story so openly. I think this is really helping any mom, dad, or parent to really be in this neutral place as good as possible. And
I have the permission of my son, by the way. I just want to say, I asked him.
It's really inspiring. Thank you for being so open.
My
So
pleasure.
let's dive into the EFT tapping. So if anyone out there is saying, what the heck is EFT? I never heard of that before. Can you explain it in a few sentences? What is it? And of course, if you would like, as you know, our audience is mostly entrepreneurs or business owners or women that want to have their own business. If you can give a little bit a short example of a
Yes.
tapping, what is it about?
So EFT tapping, EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. It's something that was discovered by a psychologist a long time ago, about 30 years ago. And it is a mix between ancient wisdom, because it's the same meridian points that they use in acupuncture, the
Mhm,
energy meridians in the body, are used in tapping.
mhm,
And we mix that with elements of modern psychology like cognitive behavior therapy and
mhm.
exposure therapy. And we combine those two. So we're tapping with fingers on the face and the top of the body
Yeah.
to intercept that stress response. Like when we have a problem or a decision to make, we're stressed about it.
Mhm,
And if we're really afraid and agitated, there is a chemical response that is happening in the brain called the fight, flight, or freeze response, which
mhm,
is the same response. It's in the reptilian brain, the oldest brain. The same response that cavemen and cavewomen had when there was a predator.
mm.
They needed to fight physically with the predator to stay alive,
Yeah,
or
so the
flight.
survival mode.
Yeah, survival mode,
Mhm,
run
mhm.
or. And to intercept that response, you tap on the meridians. It sends like signals, electrical signals to the meridians,
Mhm.
and it intercepts the response. So you can think about your problem and be more neutral. Think about your problem and be calmer. And at the end, you're going to have broken the association that you had between the problem and the emotional response, which was before stress. Now you're calm. And then
Oh,
you
that's
can,
powerful. I love that.
yeah, I've seen stuff with my clients. I mean, I
Mm,
had clients who went through, because I work with clients who had traumas. I work with mothers, but I work with anyone who really
mhm.
needs
It's
me.
open, yeah.
And you would see, like, suddenly they can't feel their body because the trauma capsule had been open,
Yeah.
and EFT will intercept all that and help. So for entrepreneurs, being an entrepreneur myself, I know how it can be sometimes. And do you mind being like the part of the demonstration so
Yes, of
people?
course. Go ahead.
So I'm going to ask people to focus on some area of their business or wanting to start a business that is
Mhm.
stressing them, or a decision they have to make.
Yeah.
And they're going to give a name to that. It can be, I don't know, calling that person, something very precise. For
Mhm.
you, if you want, you can say what it is, or you can say that decision or that problem,
Mm.
and you will know what you were referring to.
Yeah. So a lot
And,
of my clients, we could take that as an example. They struggle, with their money beliefs, or all this beliefs around money. So that's the core of my work, let's say it. So we could take something like there is lack of money, or lack
and
of clients.
granted that lack of money is a very broad
Uh-huh.
topic, and you're doing the work with them, but at least to start the process, maybe what if we went to, what do you think would be better for your clients? Either the confusion of knowing how to change their money beliefs, or that it's even possible. Or we can go with that belief of money that's stressing me. That
I
belief,
think,
that money
yeah,
belief that
that
is
would be cool,
stressing
because
me.
of course it's a longer work, as you know. If you
Yes.
change belief, it doesn't
Yes.
go in seconds. but it's also often kind of overwhelming. They don't know
Yeah.
where to start, so they are already stressing out, and oh my gosh, I have to do all this work, and this inner work, this work outside. Where do I even start? And so
So what we could go with is that money belief, and we'll go into the overwhelm and the stress of it.
mhm, that would be cool.
So we're going to tap on some points. For people who are not familiar with EFT,
Mhm.
they can just follow along. They
Yeah.
don't have to know. And I'm going to say things. So Beati is going to repeat them, and you will repeat them regarding your money belief.
Perfect.
And we're going to stay general here, but let's say you pick your money belief, or if you don't know exactly what it is, just say this money belief.
Mhm.
So, before we start, sorry, where do you feel a reaction in your body when you think about that money belief? It's the stress reaction can be, I don't know, a ball in your stomach, a ball in your throat,
Yeah, so for me, it's, and I also experience that with my clients, it's almost in the stomach area,
Okay,
yeah.
that
So it's
sensation.
kind of, they shrink together when we talk about something like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
So I'm going to say that's stomach sensation,
Mhm.
but if for them it falls in the throat, just change the words when you repeat that
Beautiful.
throat sensation or that ball in my throat.
Mhm.
And how strong is it? So 0 being like, I don't feel anything. 10, it's like it's overwhelming. You
Mm.
rate that at the beginning.
Okay. So let's say
Because
it's an 8.
an 8. Okay. So even though I have this money belief
Even though I have this money belief
that is stressing me a lot,
that is stressing me a lot,
and I'm not even sure where to start with it.
and I'm not even sure to where to start with it.
There are so many things about it.
There are so many things about it.
And I have this sensation in my stomach
And I have this sensation in my stomach
when I think about it.
when I think about it.
I choose to accept what I feel,
I choose to accept what I feel,
and I choose to accept myself completely.
and I choose to accept myself completely.
So we're going to do that 2 more times. Even though I have this sensation in my stomach,
Even though I have this sensation in my stomach
when I think about this money belief,
when I think about this money belief,
and I'm overwhelmed and stressed about it,
and I'm overwhelmed and stressed about it,
to a point where I don't even know where to start.
to a point where I don't even know where to start,
I choose to accept what I feel
I choose to accept what I feel
and to accept myself completely,
and to accept myself completely,
even with this money belief.
even with this money belief.
Even though I have this money belief
Even though I have this money belief
that I wish I didn't have,
that I wish I didn't have,
but it is there in my stomach,
but it's there in my stomach,
and I don't like this sensation,
and I don't like the sensation,
and I feel confused and overwhelmed about it.
and I feel confused and overwhelmed about it.
I choose to accept what I feel.
I choose to accept what I feel.
I thank my body for letting me know,
I thank my body for letting me know,
and I choose to accept myself completely.
and I choose to accept myself completely.
On the top of the head, this money belief.
This money belief,
At the beginning of the eyebrow, this sensation in my stomach,
this sensation in my stomach,
on the corner of the eye, on the bone, this sensation in my stomach,
this sensation in my stomach,
under the eye, because of this money belief,
because of this money belief,
under the nose, all these uncomfortable sensations and emotions,
all these uncontrolled sensations and emotions,
all this stress and overwhelm,
all this stress and overwhelm,
Here it's under the collarbone in the soft spot, just under. This overwhelm and stress about money.
This overwhelm and stress about money.
Under the arm at the bra line, this stress and overwhelm about money.
The stress and overwhelm about money.
Go back on the top of the head. I'm not sure where to start.
I'm not sure where to start.
At the eyebrow point. But I know that stressing and being overwhelmed doesn't help me.
But I know that being stressed and overwhelmed doesn't help me.
Side of the eye. And I also know that that's how I react.
And I also know that's how I react.
Under the eye. This money belief.
This money belief.
Under the nose. All the stress and overwhelm.
All the stress and overwhelm.
Under the mouth. I wonder if I could let some go.
I wonder if I could let some go.
Under the collarbone. I'm not sure I can let it go.
I'm not sure I can let it go.
Under the arm. What if I could let go of 20% of it?
What if I could let go of 20% of it?
Top of the head. Maybe I can let go of 20% of it.
Maybe I can let go of 20% of it.
It is safe to let go of 20% of this stress and overwhelm.
It is safe to let go of this stress and overwhelm 20%.
I now choose to let go of some of the stress and overwhelm regarding money.
I'm now letting go some of the stress and overwhelm regarding to money.
Freeing myself from stress and overwhelm.
Free myself from stress and overwhelm.
Choosing to feel better about money.
Choosing to feel better about money.
Under the mouth, at least for now.
At least for now.
Under the collarbone, getting back into my power.
Getting back into my power.
Under the arm, opening to whatever the universe can send me to help me.
Opening to whatever the universe can send to help me.
Choosing to let go of the stress and overwhelm about money.
Choosing to let go of the stress and overwhelm about money.
Choosing to feel better about it and opening myself.
Choosing to feel better about it and opening myself.
Choosing to be open to ideas or guidance from the
to be
universe.
open to ideas.
I am open to the guidance of the universe.
I'm open to the guidance of the universe.
I'm open to new ideas or new inspirations.
I'm open to new ideas and new inspirations.
Each little step brings me closer to financial freedom.
Each little step brings me closer to financial freedom.
I am open and grateful for the assistance of the universe.
I'm open and grateful for the assistance of the universe.
As I choose to relax, I love myself and I open to all possibilities.
As I
choose to relax,
as I choose to relax,
I free myself.
I free myself.
And I am open to all possibilities.
And I'm open to all possibilities.
Now go back, take a deep breath. Put your hand on your heart and think about that money belief that you were thinking about earlier. And now give it a rating from 0 to 10. It usually goes down.
Of course, it's like a 3, I would say.
Okay, so a 3 is okay. If you want to go lower, you can even go back and redo the tapping. But let's say if you were at an 8 and you went to a 3, that's
beautiful.
That's
huge. Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for this beautiful experience. I love that. And of course, to our listeners, you can go back to this and listen to it over and over again and do this for everything you have. And I think, Murielle, you said you have also a resource we can put in the show notes right?
Yes, it's a tapping session about when you have to make decisions in your business. And
Mm,
I don't know if you've been there, but I've taken so many trainings on marketing and how to launch your business. And I spent so much money in that. And
yeah.
everyone has a different idea. Some will tell you you need to do that. Others like
Yeah.
you need to be on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. And I was like so confused
Mm,
that it was paralyzing me. And I was spreading myself in all directions with no results. So this tapping session will help you to go to, we all have our own answers within.
absolutely.
And your answer may be different from mine or from Beatrice's answers.
Mm,
You know what you want to do. You know what brings you joy. For me, I love YouTube. I love
mm,
YouTube. So I started focusing on YouTube and the results started coming because the energy, I was on the floor
yeah.
of joy and feeling inspired and gratitude. So of course it's going to change.
Of
So
course.
that
Yeah,
tapping
that's so
session,
powerful. Yeah. And I think I think everyone can relate to that. Like as you said, there are a million possibilities to do your business, and you have to find out what really brings you joy and what is the right fit for you, of course. So
and
thank you for offering that. That's so
don't
beautiful.
limit yourself. I'm going to tell you, once I was in the car with my son, and suddenly I wanted to stop at that Starbucks coffee in the US. And a lot of Starbucks coffees in the US, they have a drive-through. We were going somewhere, so you can stop at the drive-through. This one didn't. So I said, I don't know why. I want to go there. I want a coffee from there. While I was in the line there, I was speaking to my son in French. Someone heard me. There was a French person. And I started speaking to him. He ended up becoming a client, a Reiki client, because I do energy work as
Wow.
well. I mean,
Yeah, you
it
never
can
know.
come
That's
from anywhere.
Mhm.
Out of the blue, I had recently some stuff falling on my lap. Be open.
Mm. That's so beautiful. Is there anything else you want to share to wrap this up? Because it's on you to close the episode.
Um,
Go ahead.
what I do with my business is, of course, your quote unquote ideal client, you know them. I imagine when I record something or when I send an email or that I connect, I take a few minutes. I connect from my heart to theirs because I know their problem. I know I've been there. I know
Mm,
how painful it is. So I'm sending them love and I'm like, I'm here. If you need me, I'm here. You're not alone. And I do a heart to heart energy connection. And it always ends up, my videos are better because
mm.
it's infused with love.
Yeah.
It's the strongest energy of all.
Oh, there is a cat around. Hi there.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, yes.
No, I have five of them too, so it's
Okay, I
it's
have two
it's
of them.
normal that they're always around. Oh, that's powerful. That's really, really beautiful. Thank you so much for this beautiful session and all the insights and the exercise. It was so valuable. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for our listeners. And we will see you next time here at the Rich and Chill podcast. Bye.